So, well, I was gonna do this video yesterday, but I was so worn out. So let me tell you about yesterday. I guess I should pull this down so my forehead don't look so big. But either way, so I am, or I'll say I was an advocate for doing studies, especially as women, ladies, people having babies, because there's not a lot of, they claim that that's why in this world of HIV and medicine, they claim that that's why they had meds made for men. So if you don't know anything about HIV and AIDS, back in the 80s, 70s, even probably before then, who knows um, when this first started. Um, but either way, men were the ones in the labs creating. So of course they're gonna create things for men. Um, a lot of things, not just medicine. So if you were observant, you didn't need no studies to know that, of course, some of the side effects affected women very differently from what I saw when I first got diagnosed. I was thrown into the field of peer counseling um, less than a year into finding out that I was positive. So it was a good thing, a great thing for me, and a scary thing because just information overload, feeling like a kid couldn't really offer 30 and 40-year-olds, 50-year-olds advice, or like I just felt awkward when I was offered the position or I was told that there was interest in me. I wasn't looking to be hired. Hello, hello. But I was honored that just by watching me a couple of times in a support group, they thought that I would be of value and that I was insightful and, that I would add something um, to the, people are funny. Okay, let's see, hold on. I gotta delete and report. So, let's see. I gotta remove and okay. It looks like YouTube is doing it on its own, some of them. So either way, um, thank you for speaking out for me. Uh, I don't see your comment again. I saw somebody saying something racist in the comment, and somebody called it out right away. But either way, I'm not going to look at the comment because I want to focus on what I'm saying. But I will remove, and YouTube is doing it too, so sometimes I don't even have to bother. But either way, so I was talking about my experience when I first got diagnosed and got introduced to the field. Anyways, I'm a person that watches everything and everybody, and not in a bad way, just I found out that that's the way I learn the best. It's just by watching. and observing. So I noticed, one of my coworkers at the time was one of the first people that I knew that was doing like the give yourself a shot at home and see what happened. So she entered a study, and it was an experiment back then just to see how women react. Now, she was a person that got diagnosed in the 80s, I believe. Um, so she was on one of the first drugs, and one of the first drugs used to be more catered to men. So I could tell, like, she was a girly girl. Like, she was into pink, she was straight and everything, but because of the medication, I could tell, like, it was affecting her look. Like, I saw pictures of her before. She was very nice, very beautiful, either way, but I could tell that the medicine was making her look more manlish. And I also could tell some of the people that were taking medicine for a long time that they started developing kind of like humpbacks. Now, that could be a combination of people not sitting up straight and also the medication. I noticed the difference between black and white, the the side effects, even if they were on the same medication, the side effects were different. So I was like, that's interesting. I wonder if they did a study on it to see what the difference is. And I also wonder, because we live in a racist world, if they did that on purpose, like did they purposely put some type of ingredient in this medication for this race and that medication for that race? Because, I mean, you could be taking the same pills, but who's to say that if you take a pill that's the same pill from a white, Hispanic, and black, all three pills will have the exact same ingredient? We're not scientists. We don't know. We're trusting doctors. We're trusting the medical field to do what's right. They are trusting the chemists and whoever else, the government, to say what it is. We know that they lie all the time. But either way, so I did this study yesterday that just kind of reminded me of, like, you have to be willing to stand up, speak up for yourself. Now, mind you, studies are volunteering. You volunteer for them. And some of them you get paid for, some of them it's just to help the next generation or the next bunch. And I always felt like if I could do something to help some other ladies, women, whatever, then I will, because there was really nothing when I first came on. I was told that most of everything was for men, and they were really trying hard, especially when I was pregnant. They were really desperate for pregnant women to do different studies and monitoring the baby and how the medication affected the pregnancy or the baby. Thank God, both cases, my pregnancies were both really good. Side effects didn't affect, like, my pregnancy. I just had normal side effects from the pregnancy, whether it was nausea or morning sickness. It wasn't because of the medication, because I was on the medication before I was pregnant. So I got a call saying, oh, hey, we were wondering if you would be willing to do the study, blah, blah. I was like, okay, what is it about? They kind of give you a little spiel. Mind you, they don't tell you everything that they're going to do with your blood or whatever they're doing. Now, I did mess myself up a long time ago. I was trying to, before Section 8, before SSI, I was always looking for side hustles. So that was one of my side hustles. They called me, I would come, and they used to pay, there was one that used to pay $1,000 for spinal taps. Like every 6 months, I would get a call, hey, we're looking for more spinal fluids, blah, 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 to see how the medicine that it affects your spine, affects different type of your nervous system, blah, blah. Okay. So I did it twice and it was fine. The third time, thank God that I didn't end up paralyzed. I didn't read. I was only in my teens. I might have been, the last time I did it, I think it was after my first son. So I was over, was, no, that was right before my son. So I was probably 21, 22. And I'm like, $1,000 sounds good right about now. I gotta pay rent. I gotta pay this. Um, and the lady, they're supposed to go in like they go in. It felt like they went in like this. They took what the fluid that they needed. They gently pull it out, and then they patch you up. They tell you go home, rest. Because that hole gotta heal. I mean, it's deeper than when you're giving blood. So I didn't. I went out. One of my friends wanted to go out to the mall, and she wanted to do this and that, da da da. Well, between the combination of the lady that was doing the spinal tap going like this, I was like, and you're not supposed to move, so it's not like you can, if they're doing something in your arm, you can be like, get the, get away or yank it out, or you cannot do that with the spinal tap. Because if that needle, plastic, or whatever they put in there, if it hits one of your nerves and it's the wrong type of nerve, you can end up paralyzed. I mean, a lot of things. I looked it up like 2 years after, because I remember after that, I started having back pains really bad. And to this day, and I know that I had 2 kids, I had epidurals, and but since that day, the third spinal tap that I did for the study, and not only that, they didn't tell me that the amount went down. So I was pissed because they messed my back up and they only paid $100 for the same study that I did a few years before, and it was $1,000. And they gave you, like before, they used to give you vouchers so you can go out to eat at the hospital cafeteria. They used to give you like $25, or they didn't do that this time. They used to let you lie down for a while with the lights out, music, blanket, warm blanket. They didn't do that that time. They just kind of like, okay, well, thank you. Here's your $100. And I was like, $100? Um, well, you didn't ask. That's what they told me. You didn't ask. I said, but that I have been here and I've done this twice before, and you guys used to pay. Well, the budget went down, da da da. I'm like, okay, whatever. I said, just take me off this study. Between the shaky hands of the doctor, she's getting too old to do this because she did it before and it was fine. No back pain, no nothing. And I was able to go to work like afterwards. After a couple of hours, I was able to work, never had issues. Months later, year later, never had an issue until that last one when her hands were shaky. So, yeah, I was like, either her eyesight is getting back or her aim is getting back. I don't know. But either way, she's getting too old. Her hands are shaking. And she should either have a student there with her to assist or a student doing it. Because it's like, you know. Anyways, and they make you sign paper that if something happened, da, da, da. But when you're young and dumb, you look at the money or you just like, oh, whatever, you don't think about like your body like that because you just think you can bounce back from anything. This time they call me. I set up the ride and everything. They call me the day before. They're like, oh, since we're taking blood for this study, we're doing another study. And they explain a little bit what that study's about. So, of course, they claim, because the only thing that I tell them now, I do not want my blood to be used for cloning or any experiments like that. Yeah, you can search the DNA, you can search genetics, you can search, um, how medications in the future might affect people like me or my race, whatever. Fine, just don't clone me. Like, that's the only thing. But if they use it in, let's say, 10 years, there's no way that I could track unless I see somebody talking, looking, and walking like me. Then I'll be like, oh, they must have used it to clone me. But I couldn't go back and sue because they use codes and numbers and all that stuff. So, and they explained that to me this time. So I was like, oh, they never had explained it to me in that way before. Not only that, but this time they said, well, the NIA and the FBI. And I was like, what would the FBI want with my blood? So I was like, okay, whatever, whatever. I'm here. They called me the day before, like I said. This was yesterday, so they called me the day before the study to say about this other study. And they were like, okay, we just would need you to come an hour earlier to do that study, and then you'll have time to rest, but we'll just take your blood all at once for both studies. So I'm thinking that, okay, they're going to take my blood, do the questionnaire, do whatever else for the first study, then I'll take a break. I was thinking, okay, I'll go down to the cafeteria and I'll eat or have something to snack on or have coffee and come back up and do the next study and be done, come home, rest and chill. Or, usually they had a little, like a recliner or a little hospital bench thing, and they let you lie down, especially if they're going to take more than 5 vials. Now, I'm already anemic, and I was already feeling like the day before when they called me, I was already like drained. So I told them, I said, I'm really, really drained. I'm already scheduled for the 6 iron infusions that I have to do. They go every 2 weeks. So, like, I think my first one is on the 8th, and then so on and so on. So I said, if you're taking more than 5, I need a little time to kind of recover. Do you have orange juice? Do you have... So they had junk, and they have like punch group. And I was like, okay, that doesn't replenish your blood cells. Like, I shouldn't be telling a person doing a study what helps people recover, you know. A couple of crackers, some orange juice, or some apple juice seems to help me. I don't need all this other junk like that they have there. So I'm like, okay, fine. Then I look around in the room and I see that they have they like bunched up a whole bunch of desks in a room. So I'm like, okay, maybe they have another room that you can go lie down and relax. They did ask me like before they took my blood, oh, you gonna be okay? Now I don't know if the kid that was doing my blood work, the first girl that I saw, she was very nice, very calm, very like professional. Then, she does her part, the questions. Okay, my part is done. I'll get the blood from the next study. They'll just do it all at once. I'm like, cool. They're like, well, it'll be like an hour. So I'm like, you asked me to come in earlier to get this shit done, and then you want me to, okay, fine. So I was like, maybe I can go to the cafeteria. I forgot that around noon, the every lunch area is packed. So I was like, there's no way that I can get something to eat and go back and be on time. So I was like, forget it. I'll just go upstairs, grab a couple of chairs and make a bed out of it and lay back and kind of tune out, listen to some, I was listening to some comedy or whatever. So I was falling asleep. And just when I was falling asleep, here he comes. And I don't hear him because I have my headphones. So I took my headphones out and I'm like, he's like, oh, I'm ready. I was like, oh, I thought I had 40 minutes. I was going to take a 30-minute nap. So he's like, well, I heard you're here, so we might as well get it done. I'm like, okay, fine. So he's fumbling, like, he's trying to hand me the packet and fumbling that, dropping this, dropping that. Now, I'm very calm with my anxiety, so I'm the opposite. When my anxiety is up, like, I'm very just. Now, if I'm doing an event or like at my kid's birthday party, I was trying to, like, I'm the MC, I'm the hype woman. So yeah, I'm everywhere. Just, hey, what's going on? Hey, what's going on? Hey, what's going on? Just trying to keep everybody entertained. So yeah, I move about, I move around and all that stuff. But other than that, when my anxiety is high, unless I'm doing something, cooking or cleaning or whatever, I'm very calm. So having somebody that has anxiety in front of me when I'm already either super tired, it's annoying to me. If I'm drained, that drains me more. So I'm sitting there and I'm slowly feeling my body just feeling so much more drained. Watching him. I'm like, what the? Like, you called me in early. You should have had all that shit laid out. So I'm like, fine, let me get through this. Let me see what this study is about. Here they go. They have this big old round thing. It has two hooks like a snake. Like, you basically, they wanted me to put this thing, and I wish I would have saved the video. I watched it on their pad, but I wish I would have looked at the title because I would have put it on here. What they're trying to make you do in the future. So, what I got from this study is that the doctors and the nurses are sick of doing their own blood work. So now they want to see if people would feel comfortable doing their own blood work at home and mailing it. So I'm like, how would that work? Because what if, like, don't you already have that issue with drug addicts or people that have to do pee samples? People try to trick the system by having somebody else's pee. So let's say you're trying to test yourself for STDs and prove to your partner that you don't have nothing. So you could just test somebody else. And then, so anyway, so in my head, I'm thinking about all this while trying to ease this person that's supposed to be helping me do this thing and supposed to be training this. I'm like, it's okay, take your time. There's no rush. He's like, well, no, I actually gotta do your blood work and go because I didn't do the other drop. And then he didn't even have the cooler for the blood. So then he tells me, well, somebody else is coming in to finish out the rest of the study. And I was like, why the switch up? Like, why do we have to have two people? That's weird to me. Like, so now I gotta tell everything to this. No, no, everything's in the system. They won't ask you, or she won't ask you anything that I did or whatever. This kid had me so nervous because I was like, okay, so you're the one doing the blood work. Yeah, yeah. So I'm doing these 4 for me and these 5 for her. I was like, oh, that's a lot of blood, and I'm already anemic. I'm already, as you can see, I was trying to take a nap. Like, I'm really drained. I didn't expect to give that much blood today. If I did, I would have done it after, like my blood infusion a couple of days after. He's like, well, I'm sorry she didn't tell you. The person that called me to schedule this didn't tell me. Usually I'm better at asking questions, but again, because I've been so drained and off and on since my son's birthday party. Either way, so I'm like, fine, let's just get it out the way. Because in my head, I'm thinking, okay, they're going to let me lay down for 15, 20 minutes. They're going to give me my juice and crackers and let me relax. He's like fumbling. And then usually for the study, it takes longer, but I like the purple, I think it's the purple or yellow butterfly thing. He had the biggest needle, which I think is the blue one. I've been doing this since like 2000. So I looked at all the different type of needles that they use, the little butterfly things that they just choop, and then they hook up and drain, it sucks the blood out of it. So either way, so I was already freaking out about that big old hole in my arm. But okay, fine. He's in a rush. He was so in a rush that he didn't have the the cooler to put the blood in. So I'm thinking the study is already going to be messed up because the blood has to be put in the cooler in order to be 100% correct. By the time he got to the lab, unless he was going to the lab downstairs, then okay, a few minutes of outdoor temperature, it's in the building. But if he was going outside the building without the cooler, then I, I was like, okay, whatever, that's their problem, not mine. I did my part. Now, I was not willing to do the snake poke thing on myself because not only do you have to, like, it's a round thing with 2 pokes and it's basically like a push button. And it has 5 little blood sample levels under it. So it looks like a female sign, kind of like a circle and then a little rectangle that has 5 little layers. And so the goal is to you put it on. You of course you wipe your skin with alcohol wipe. You put it on, and then you press it, and then you have to hold it for 5 seconds, and then let it go, and then the blood starts collecting the little sample thing. In the video, it shows like real slow. So he's like, oh, it takes about 50. Because I'm like, how long does this take? That looks like a long time to have those big old holes in your arm. And he's like, oh, it takes about 15, less than 15 minutes, 10 minutes or so. So I was like, okay. Um, then I'm looking down at it. I'm thinking about the fact that I gotta not only be brave enough to put it up to my arm, but then press it. And then I'm thinking about Matrix and all this shit. I'm like, you gotta hold it for 5 seconds, 5 minutes, 5 seconds. I think as I said 5 seconds. In that time, that crap could be inputting anything in your arm. I'm like, while he's fumbling through the thing, it gives me time to think. And I'm like, no, I'm not doing. So if that means I don't get the money because I'm not doing this part, then, we could just be done right now. Because I'm not poking myself. Like, what is this? So then I learned why they wanted you to do that. The second part of the study, thank God that the second lady was very calm, very professional. At first, I didn't think so. Like, she's taking stuff out of her backpack, and I'm like, usually they have a separate work bag, or I don't know. It just felt very like weird how they were like. And then, okay, so when let me get back to the blood. So he's putting in the butterfly, but before then, he's tying that damn string around my arm like I'm an animal. Like I said, I've been giving blood, I've been having to do blood work since the 2000s. Well, I guess since I got tested, or, consistently. So the fact that I was like, oh my God. And he's like, oh yeah, I'm not brave enough to look either when I'm getting poked. And I'm thinking, motherfucker, stop talking to me. Because you're already pissing me off with how you tie this damn thing so tight. Like I'm a fucking cow. Now, mind you, my arm is big or whatever. But he saw the damn vein. Like he really didn't even need the damn thing. If you put the pillow be under my arm, now my veins pop up. They used to be like the rollover veins or the hideaway veins, whatever they used to call them. They used to do that. But I guess my body thought to itself, like, shit, this is going to happen whether we let it or not. We might as well let it. So they started showing up. You don't need to tie that thing so tight on somebody's arm that it feels like it's more painful than what I felt childbirth. It's more painful than a damn C-section, the way that he did it. So I was like, okay. And I was really, like, if he said one more word, I was so glad when he shook up, because he was like, yeah, I'm the same way. I can't love, basically calling me a punk. I'm like, motherfucker, let me tie this shit as tight as you tied it on my arm, and tell me if you're not going to make a face and look away before, because my reaction was going to be like, slam my arm down, my hand down, and tell him to shit the fuck. He's already making me irritated with how fidgety he is. Like, I get nervous with people that are fidgety. Like, are you on crack, or can I do something to help you calm down? Like, I don't know what it is. It just makes me uneasy. And I really try. I made that comment to a friend, and she got offended. And that's like, well, I was just trying to figure out, like, we're both buzzed. She done smoked some weed. So I thought that weed makes you calm. It did the opposite to her. So I was just like, oh my God, what's going on? Like, are you on something else? And sometimes I forget that the New Yorker in me has to stay hidden because people in Washington are way too fucking sensitive. Like, I know I'm sensitive and I get hurt or whatever, but then I'm like, well, that's the truth. So if I overreact or whatever, I come back and apologize. Um, and I was raised in a family that whether you liked it or not, they told you the truth. And a lot of the times I would get my feelings hurt and I'd be like, dang, why do they always have to say stuff so rude? But now I kind of miss it. Like, I'm like, dang, you can't say nothing. Either way, so I was glad when he stopped talking and stopped calling me. He was calling me a punk without saying punk. And I wanted to call him a crackhead, but I held myself back. So I'm like, why can't he just shut up? So he did. But then he like told me, like I said at first, he should have had everything laid out, prepared. They usually, like when I go to the nurses, they usually put the tape to the side. They have the band-aid or whatever they're going to use, the gauze, everything on the little tray, sanitized tray. He didn't do none of that. So he was, hold. He was telling me to hold the gauze, which, okay, fine. He unleashed the damn rope thing, the rubber that he had around my arm. Then he's looking behind him. The tray is in front of him, and I see the tape. He didn't do the little pull tape thing. I see it. But he's looking behind him to see if he could see the tape. The lady's there trying to get situated, so it's a lot going on. I'm really drained. It's draining me even more. So I'm like, the tape is right there. He's like, oh, okay. So then he puts the tape, instead of putting it where they usually put it, it's in the fold. So it holds the gauze in. He puts it on the arm. Like, let's pretend this is the fold. That's where it's supposed to go. He puts it like there. So by the time I put my jacket or my sweater on, it's like I could feel it kind of rubbing against my arm and ready to come off. So I'm like, I go downstairs and ask for a band-aid from one of the labs. Like, I just gave blood and this thing's coming off. Can I please get a band-aid? They give me a band-aid. I take that crap off, the tape and everything. Take it off, put a band-aid. Fine. So when I'm doing the questionnaire with the next lady, after the fidgety guy left, she she's asking me all these questions, and okay, it's fine. But then it gets to the part that I have to do the questionnaire by myself. So I'm reading the questions, and it's a whole bunch of, do you feel comfortable doing this at home? Or do you need to come in or to be seen by a nurse? I'm clicking nurse, 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 because why do I want to do your job? And the machine, the machine gets pissed at me and was like, error, error. It would not let me answer no more questions. I was like, oh my God. So I have reached a new level of pissing off the medical system. I'm like, so damn, even AI don't like to hear no. The machine was not hearing, like, yes, I'll do your job for you. I'll do the job that pays nurses and hospital people to do. Yes, I'll do it. I'll do it at home. and then they'll get the credit, they get the paycheck. I don't get paid for that shit. And I'm not that brave. I don't want to poke myself every 3 months. Like, you crazy? I don't care if it's a pushing button and all that stuff. It's not a needle like they do it. I was like, no, I saw where it was going and what they're trying to do. And I was like, I refuse to give into this bullshit and be part of the robots testing you, taking your blood, because that's where it was heading. And I was like, I hope people aren't this stupid to be like, oh yeah, this is more convenient because I could just do it at home. No, even if you could, don't click on do it yourself because they're going to get paid to do nothing. I mean, it's bad enough now that the pandemic is an excuse for, like, for example, my apartment, the one that I live in now. I used to live in before. They had a nice office. You could go in, drop your rent check, talk to the office if there was any issues, put in your maintenance request, pick up your packages there so you don't have to worry about anybody delivering it to the wrong address or the wrong door or people stealing it or whatever. And you had a nice little space that if you didn't have cable or something, you could go in. If there was nobody using the living room area, the TV area, you can go in, watch your shows, and dang, I'm gonna have to call her back. Watch your shows. They even had little snacks. They had water bottles. They had juices. They had little breakfast things you can go in. I try not to abuse things like that because I know everything costs money. So I would go in, me and the kids would go in once in a while. We never really used the living room because there was always a guy there with, he was always there. So I was like, okay, I'm not going to fight over no TV. We got cable anyways. I just wanted to, um, I don't know if we had regular cable back then. I think we did. But I think we didn't have like the channels. We just had internet for to do the Netflix and Hulu's and stuff. So I was just like, oh, I want to flip through and look at the TV guy and all that stuff. But that guy was always there. Every time we went in, whether it was 2 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 6, he was always there. So I was like, damn, doesn't have money to get his own TV stuff. But I was like, fine, we'll just go ahead and get snacks. And you could rent out the space, like if you wanted to do a pool party, or because they had a pool and a hot tub and all that. Um, so I did that one time. I rented out the space. I had my the my boys' friends, from the apartments and from school coming. Or I had like one time that I just had a little pool party. I didn't rent out the space, and so it was fun. But now the office is taken over by the maintenance people. They just, I guess it's their own space now. The living room part, you can't even go in at all anymore. And they use the excuse, well, it was COVID, so we just worked remotely. But so much so that they didn't even want to come in to give you a tour. That should have been my first clue not to move back here. When I was like, oh, can I see the new place? Even though it was supposed to be what I had before, the 2 bedroom, 1 bath. I was like, I still want to see because it's a different area. I don't know, like, and I should have known. They were like, oh, nobody's there. And I was like, nobody can drive up there and show me that one. Like, not even maintenance. But I was in a rush, so I just moved here. But anyways, just know that they're trying their hardest to do less for more, charge you more for less, and they want you to do their job for them. So I think I got to question number 23, and I had, like, it was supposed to be up to 50, I think, 45 or 50. And the machine was like, error, error. I was like, oh, I don't know if I didn't. So I went back because I was like, maybe I didn't answer the last question. I answered it, so I went forward. I answered it again, clicked on forward next. Error, error. I don't know why that's so funny to me. I don't mean to be stubborn, and I don't mean to be hard headed, but I'm glad that I am because it proved that they're trying to be so sneaky. And this is nothing that we're going to use later on and blah blah blah. But I'm like, nah, there's already a YouTube video about it. I'm not gonna be surprised if like in 5 years they're mailing out this blood work stuff. And if they can just collect the small little vials, that's because there wasn't that much blood in the little thing. Once the little thing is full, it's probably one tube of blood work. So I'm like, so if that's all you need to get all your information, then why do you take 4 or 5 vials of blood every time? Like, what are they doing with the blood? You know? And I think it's funny that they like talk about low income women, and they are so disrespectful in the hospital sometimes to people on certain type of insurance and this and that. And I'm like, but the thing is, they make millions of dollars of your placenta every time. Millions of dollars because they can make capsules, they do a lot of research, they get a lot of vitamins from that, they get to do tests, all kinds of things. Um, they don't throw that away. You don't see it in the garbage. When you have a baby, you see them put it in a metal, looking like a baking pan, and they just take it away. They don't tell you where it goes. They don't tell you what the, but yet they make you feel like, oh, you're making us do this for free. No, bitch, you making money off me. They should really be paying us. Every time you have a baby, you should get automatically like $3,000 at least, because they're gonna make 1 million off you, at least. Um, and just imagine how many people give birth. And then the funny thing is that if you want to save your placenta, who's to say that you're getting all your placenta? Because it's not only your placenta, it's the umbilical cord, all that stuff. And then they have the nerve to charge you thousands of dollars to keep it in the fridge for you. Thousands of dollars if you want to turn it into capsules or whatever people do, which, of course, that's not even an option. You don't even know about that unless you have people with different insurance in your friend group, different income bracket in your friend group. If you don't know no better, you don't find out none of this, because they're never gonna just say, hey, I know you are on this type of insurance, but this, if you're interested, these are your options and these are the prices. How you know that a person on Medicare or Medicaid can't gather up the money in 9 months to turn those things into capsules? or that they wouldn't even want to know. You know. So I don't trust I don't trust them at all. But I did the study, and I had to still wait. I ate, I went downstairs. It was a lot less people. I ate, I waited for my ride. Thank God it was a taxi, because it takes you straight home. But my body was in so much pain because I was already fatigued before I went. They didn't let me sit down nowhere. Oh, the other thing is they wanted a pee sample. Okay, fine. I went into that bathroom. I wanted to throw up. I was like, oh my God, what is this? What is this? Whoever went in before me, or I don't know if they ever checked that bathroom. I, if you had kids or if you were a kid, you know what boogers look like, dry boogers. So it's been there for a while. There was dry boogers behind the faucet. Oh my God, I was just thinking about it. I want to throw up. There was dry boogers, like, ugh. Okay, so let me stop talking about it. So I just grab a whole bunch of paper towels, put it wherever I saw stuff. I put it on the little metal thing because I was like, okay, I guess that's where I could put the pee. Because, anyways, the little container had a plastic cover on it, like where my numbers were and this and that. But I was like, usually it's like they don't put that until after you give them the sample, so pee and everything else, the water, whatever, doesn't get on it. Cause I usually like rinse off once I put the top on, I rinse it off, I wipe it off. Sometimes I even use the soap and hand sanitizer and wipe all around the outside, because I think it's nasty. Like if you just hand in your pee sample and there's pee all, like, I don't know. I just, maybe I'm just, whatever. I don't know. So I just did all that and I got it done. I handed, I with paper towels on top, paper towels to open the door, because I was like, if so, anyways, anyways, so after I got home, so drained and so tired, I thought about it. I was like, is the reason that they wanted me to come in earlier was because the little boy didn't turn in his paperwork on time, like his homework, his project. You could tell he's either a really green student, don't know how to do shit, trying to rush to get an A at finals. I didn't like it. I just didn't like it. Like, I understand that the UW has a lot of students, they're training, and everybody's got to learn somehow. I just don't like to be the guinea pig. I didn't like that they're making money off all these damn studies in that back room, and they don't take the time to get maintenance to clean the bathroom. Because what it told me is that they don't look after every client uses that bathroom. They don't check to see, like, there could have been blood. I mean, who knows how nasty people are. So I was like, you know what? I left them a message. I sent them an email. I sent them a text. Every way I could communicate with them. I was like, I don't give a damn about. Well, I didn't say that, but I was like, look, I'm no longer interested in doing any more studies. Between you guys trying to clone people secretly, and trying to make people do your job secretly, trying to trick people into doing shit at home that you would get paid for. I'm not with it. And having that nasty ass bathroom, like, no. So I just put all my concerns and all my grievances. I'm like, don't call me. Don't email me. Don't text me. Don't call me. Don't send out a red signal. I helped enough. I've been positive since 99. I've been doing studies since 2003, 2002. I'm done. Like, you guys don't take care of your people. The fact that they sent me off without making sure that I wasn't going to pass out, and then the money wasn't really worth it. Like, one was okay. The, the first, I was like, you need 5 hours and you only paying this? I said, oh, no. No, because I know that they're just trying to be greedy. Instead of paying good money to 100 people, they're trying to get like 300 people for the third of a price. And trying to, and then the bathroom, you can't even clean the freaking bathroom between clients. Like, no. Mm-mm. I'm so through, so done. So I just block their number, block their email. So even if they do try to convince me, oh, this pays more and we improve on our quality, we'll have a resting, I don't care. You could have a spa day for me afterwards. I'm not doing no more studies. Like, they're playing too much. They're trying to trick people into making you feel like it's okay and normal for you to do this shit at home. And all that's going to do is falsify information. Because if I poke my son's arm and get his blood work in, yeah, they might know that, oh, there's no medicine in this body. Da, da, da. But if it's something that can be tricked or whatever, it's not going to work to have people do this at home with no guidance, no. So I'm glad that the machine got pissed and stopped me because I was just going to keep pressing, nope, nurse, nurse, come in, nurse, even though it would be more convenient to do some stuff at home or not come in as much. But no, I wasn't going to be tricked. I wasn't going to be bamboozled. And I'm glad that the machine knew that. That, oh, we can't fuck with her. She, damn, we can't get by this one. So even the machine knew, like, this is a stubborn mule. We're not gonna get through to her. Let's just be done. So I was like, oh, what does that mean? I'm not gonna get paid. They're like, well, we have to pay you. It wasn't your error. It was the computer. So I'm like, okay, yeah, give me my money. I was like, hey, dirty, baby, I got your money. So, anyways, it was just that bathroom, I'm telling you, like, worse than a gas station bathroom. And then after the pandemic, what I noticed with Harborview is like they no longer care. They're not cleaning like they used to. They're not, not just Harborview, everywhere. Because even the hospice that I was in, I'm looking in the bathroom, I'm like, why is there green stuff in the corner? And I was just like, oh my God. So I don't know if the rich decided or whoever is in charge of that budget decided to, well, we're going to Mars anyway, so why worry about Earth? Let's just let it go. It's done. Like, they're done putting in effort and time into, and I know it's not Harborview's fault. It's not the hospice fault. It's whoever's in charge of giving out money for those things. You know, they just decided, fuck them. Let them fend for themselves and let them do more for less. Like, let's just try to put the pressure on and see what they do. And I'm sure those Monopoly assholes are happy and laughing in their yachts and their private jets while they eat caviar, and we're over here just trying to get the bathroom clean. Like, what? So, anyways, don't let them push you. I always tell my kids, like, since they were little, especially after my son was touched, one of the things that I enforced in their head and just keep reinforcing, like, don't ever think that I will ever put anybody else above you. I always told him, I don't care if it's the president, the principal, the teacher, the priest, the nurse, the whatever. If you tell me something is the truth, it's whatever. So it's me, you against the world. That's our motto. That's our thing. That's what I instill in my kids. And even though I'll say I'm a great advocate for my kids, and I may not do it in the most professional way. I may not do it in the most polite way, but working and being a peer counselor taught me that I was already an advocate and I didn't know what the word was. I just knew that, and maybe it has to do with my sign, maybe it has to do with just how I am made. If people were treated wrong in any way, I always spoke up. I remember, you know, like seeing people getting bullied. And even though I was part of the clique, I guess, in elementary school, um, I always spoke up, like, yo, why you have to, like, you don't have to down them, like, what's wrong with you? And I would try to make them feel stupid. And I didn't know that was advocating, but I've always been that way, like, you know, in the DR, my cousins didn't like this one girl. And I remember one day, at first I went along because I was like, oh, they want me to do this and they want me to do that, whatever, whatever. One day I was like, this doesn't feel right. And I don't know if I said that to any of my cousins or not because they stopped asking me to do things to make her feel bad. But I remember thinking that. I was 5 or 6, I don't know. And I was just like, why are we being mean to this girl? She didn't do nothing to us. Just because she's not part of our family? Or because, I don't know. Like, I don't even remember why somebody didn't. One of my cousins didn't like her. Maybe she liked the same boy. I don't know. But all of a sudden, all of my cousins and me were being mean to this girl in the DR, in the neighborhood. She was on our block. And I was just like, why? I don't know. I can't get on that schedule. So when I learned what an advocate was and what advocating was, I was like, oh, okay, that's why I feel the way I feel, and that's why I speak up for people that feel scared to. Like, I remember, different ladies coming in saying how scared they were about the doctor that they had to see because there was only one specialist in Seattle that delivered babies with moms that had HIV or, you know, that type of situation. So unfortunately, you were forced to deal with this lady. And she would say and do things to them that were horrible, say hurtful things. And when I went to her, I was like, yeah, I heard about you. Just to let you know, you are not doing that to me. I don't know what your problem is. Come to find out, the lady was just having self-hate, I guess. I don't know, self whatever. She was a doctor. She made good money. She was married. She didn't understand why God didn't bless her with babies. And then all these people that have this deadly disease. And I was like, well, if you feel that way, why do you keep doing this job? Why not train somebody that would be happy to assist or help somebody deliver their healthy babies? Like, you know that they don't have to be born with HIV. The babies are born healthy. So if you know that, why do you make them feel like they're guilty of condemning their kids for life with AIDS when you know that that's not true? That's how you make them feel. And she was like, oh, I don't know if she was lying to me or she got scared of me. I don't know. But all of a sudden, oh, I didn't realize. Yes. And I repeated some, because whether I want to or not, I'll remember conversations word for word. I'll forget what I ate last week, but I'll remember certain conversations. So I told her some of the comments and some of the questions that she would ask. That was very inappropriate. And I was like, I wish that they would record you because we would all sue you and I would help them. And she was very nice to me. Like the first pregnancy, the second pregnancy, I think she got in her head again, and she was kind of acting towards the end like she didn't want to deliver my baby, and she ended up not delivering my second baby because her butt went to Africa trying to help them. And I'm like, I'm thinking to myself, if she was hurtful in her words and her actions with people here that understood English, I can only imagine what she was feeling with Africans and in that field. Like, I was really praying that she wouldn't be going with that type of hate over there. Because I know in her eyes it wasn't hate. I know in her eyes it was just like, why God? Why? And I understand. I mean, I don't know how I would feel, but I tell you one thing, if I felt like I was like, dang, why can't I be me? And I felt like I was being hateful towards somebody, me, myself, and I would get out of that field. I would just start delivering regular women, baby. I don't know. Like, she didn't have to be a specialist. I'm sure she got paid more for that. And that's probably one of the reasons that she kept doing it. And I think she might be still doing it. I don't know. I haven't asked. But, stuff like that just get me fired up. So seeing the study and how they just push you out the door now, and they didn't care to, like, I thought about it after I left. If the bathroom was that nasty, how many people, luckily I bring my own toilet stuff to cover it. I don't even use that see-through paper that they put on there when I go to the hospital. I use my own toilet stuff. Like, you can buy reusable plastic thing and reusable that you just wash. I mean, not reusable plastic thing. You have plastic and then reusable covers. You can even make your own. You can cut up a bag, a plastic bag, put toilet paper on top. That seems more protective than what they have on the bathroom, the little see-through paper that flushes as soon as you put it in. Um, if it's an automatic toilet thing. So having kids, I was like, oh my God, especially when they had to start using the bathroom by themselves. I was always so panicky about the toilets, like, and the handles. I always taught them, So I made my kids, without knowing, I made them kind of both addicted to hand sanitizer. Like everywhere we went, Mom, sanitizer. Mom. So, bef- like I thought it was weird during the pandemic that everybody was so like, this is how you wash your hands and hand sanitize. And I was like, if I wasn't careful before I had kids, I definitely was very, very careful after I had my oldest. Like, that was nothing that I had to be taught just because we had a virus that was going around. I thought it was weird. I'm like, people really don't know how to wash their hands, that they have to put their fingers between their hands to get the germs between their fingers. Like, they don't know that they have to wash all over, like even the top of your hands, and like go a few times, not just in and out with the water. They don't know that. I was just so blown. I was blown because I told my kid that at 1 years old or before. So either way, I just thought it was a funny story about the computer saying, "Damn, this bitch." If the computer could cuss me out, I'm sure it would have. Like, never mind, just give her money and get her out of here. Yes, give me my money, Dr. Robin. Hey. But yeah, I was so like, oh my God. I took a long nap when I came back. I couldn't even see straight. I was so, like, I did not expect to give. I don't know how many they took, actually. Let me think. 5 for the one. Yeah, 5 and 4. So, yeah, I thought it was just going to be 2 vows for one study and 3 vows for the other study. And I did not come there prepared to poke myself. Like, nope. So I'm glad that they still paid me without having to poke myself. Because when I saw the hole in the video, I said, oh, hell no. That, it looked bigger than if a snake poked you with their two fangs. It looked rounder and bigger than that. And then I'm thinking to myself, the way that the little machines and all that stuff, how microscopic they can make it. Who's to say that on that tip of that needle or the hole, because it was huge, who's to say that there's not a little chip in there? I don't trust them. I just don't. I don't trust them. So I told him, take me off all your logs, all your little call things, all your future research recommendations. I don't care. You should have enough of my blood and you still collecting because I still gotta go. They want me to come in every 3 months. I'm like, fuck that. I'll come in every 6 months, every one a year, whatever I feel like, because if I feel like I'm doing good on my part, taking my meds, being healthy, trying to include home remedy stuff to keep myself alive, because they halfway don't do that job. So I'm not jumping over hoops no more. Like, I used to let them get me all paranoid and all this and that. Nope, not anymore. I do my own research. I let them tell me whatever they want to tell me. Then I research that. If it aligns, I check in with 4 or 5 doctors. I do acupuncture. I'm going to start doing like massages to lower my anxiety. I'm going to start doing more home remedy stuff, more herbs, more sea moss. I'm going to get back on that. So, don't I mean, listen to the doctors, but get 2 or 3 opinions. Even 2 opinions is not enough anymore if it's at the same clinic, because they talk to each other and it's all in the same records. So, shoot, even if you call a nurse hotline, they don't have your file. They might give you a whole nother option that your doctors and this and that. I go around the system. Use the system against itself because the system is built to keep you sick. The system is built to keep you stupid and to keep you scared and to keep you under their thumb. So I let the system help me as much as it can, and then the rest is up to me, and I know that. And the day that God calls me is the day that God calls me. Like, people are like, oh, you have all these home remedies, but yet you get sick. Well, duh, because we live in a world that pollution is put into the air. The air we breathe, the food we eat is not safe. You can't be 100% nothing because they make sure that it's not. Man-made stuff. Um, as much as it helps us, it also hurts us in some kind of way. So we all have our day, and you can't avoid that. So yeah, your body, if you get sick and you recover, your body already is doing what it's supposed to do. When you get a fever, it's not a bad thing to get a fever. Your body's trying to tell you, like, okay, there's something in here we don't like, we're getting rid of it. That's all that means. Like, don't freak out. Just do your research, see what you can take or naturally or do for yourself. If you do nothing else, if you don't have energy for nothing else, drink water. Water, 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 water. Flush it out of your system, you know. So it is what it is. And I am going to start doing, I got to find a tub that's big enough and good enough because I'm not getting in this little thing. Um, but I am going to start doing, I used to do a lot of baths and reading about the benefits about detoxing through baths. I used to do milk and honey baths. I can't do that on the east side because the tubs be small, and it's just, for some reason I just never felt comfortable in any of the bathrooms that I had on the east side to get in and sit in for a while. It's not relaxing. Like, it's not, I can't seem to set the mood. So even if I have to rent a hotel with a tub, I'm gonna do that once, twice a year. I'm gonna do that, and just the whole weekend, just do all type of different baths, milk and honey, salt and lemon, this and that, da 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 da. I'm just gonna do that. I'm gonna do that for myself. I do everything for my kids, so I need to start doing more for myself. Self care is important. I'm gonna make an appointment for acupuncture again. That has helped me tremendously with my knee arthritis, my fatigue. Um, what else did they help me? I was having a lot of back pain and headaches. They took that away. Like, so it works. It works. Natural stuff works too. Don't be scared. Oh, well, the doctor said. I hear so many people say, well, the doctor said, the doctor said. Oh. All right, well, keep doing what the doctor says and see how far that gets you. You know, well, all I'm saying is do what the doctor says if that's your thing, but also do your research and also see if there's natural ways to help your body fight and stay healthier. Don't just do one thing. That's all I'm saying. I'm not against doctors. I love doctors, the ones that are doing the right thing and not just getting paid. But just speak up for yourself. Don't let them push you around. Advocate for yourself. Anyway, subscribe, like, comment, share if you care. um, I'll be probably posting a little bit of my event stuff coming up on the 12th. I had to reschedule March 22nd. My little one was sick. We were all just kind of worn out. But it's okay. It's okay. It's going to happen, even if it's just me and one other lady to start with, because of the rescheduling. It kind of messed everybody else up. So I was a little down. I was like, oh, maybe I should cancel. Oh, what was I thinking? All the self doubt stuff started coming in. Like, well, maybe, I was overzealous. I'm thinking to myself, like, when I snapped out of it, I was like, oh no, I don't spend almost $400 on this first event. I'm not going to use everything, obviously, because not everybody's coming. But I'm going to save some of the ideas, some of the things that I was thinking about saying and doing for when people are there. But I'm still going to go with it no matter what. There's different people saying that they want to do different things. Some ladies actually want to teach something, so I'm excited to get that going. But I'm just going to push through. Starting your own business, following your dreams, it's not easy. But don't give up. Push through. Until God says no, push yourself and love yourself. All right. Well, have a blessed one. Do, 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 do.